one shelf?
Yeah, the oceanic. Yeah.
So that would happen on
So
a flat plane if that's what's
we're
occurring in the
no.
first place.
So what you're saying is there's no like in the United States there could be, it's so vast that it could have, like in California it could have a fault on one side or down the middle of something, where is in Australia there's no fault line going down the center of Australia. It's
What?
mainly around
No.
the outside
God, you're
left
so
edge.
long-winded. You're so long-winded. Davros, what created your guys' mountain range?
What?
Giants.
Oh my
Dick, I hate you.
What?
god.
What? If a flat earther said it, you'd be like, oh,
Fine.
cool, so show us the giants. I say it, you're like, oh.
I thought it was a giant snake.
But if
Oh, no,
you
that's in the
follow,
Dragon.
anyway, we could explain it with vibration, electricity, an electrical fault line. If any, I mean, plate tectonics is still highly theoretical, so we could explain it with
certainly
something else over a
vibration,
flat
I'll give you
plane.
that.
That's not true, Lemon. Surveyors, you can measure the distance it gains annually. California does it. Japan does it. A lot of
all
countries
of
do it.
Australia moving like a lot.
Yes, and it's actually, I think it's going underwater. One of the two. Forget which one. But
It's
the
the whole
plate movement
country.
is very easily measured all the time.
Problem with plate tectonics is explaining how these puzzle piece continents move without breaking and deforming and buckling. And also, we don't see a sea of magma beneath the land. We see magma and channels, but we don't see a sea of magma. So part of it is not quite fully validated.
Go to Hawaii. You'll see magma flowing under the earth, and the way you say it would just break up. That's why we have continents.
But the thing is, we don't see magma going away from the fault line like we would expect with that sort of situation. We'd expect the magma to come up through the volcano or whatever and go away from the source. But we see magma channels running in synchronous order with the fault line or whatever they call the fault line. It doesn't appear to be going away from it. So there are some problems even with plate tectonics that David Pratt went through in his paper. I'll put it in the chat.
But that's also why when we study plate tectonics, we understand that there's two different kinds. There's the crashing of plates and the sliding up under of plates. I mean, the reason the magma doesn't all flow in one direction is because it's not flowing in one direction. That's why things are being pulled apart, moved in different directions. The continents didn't laterally move in any direction.
Well, another problem is most of the continents appear to be antipodal. You'd expect a random configuration of the continents, one.
Lemon?
Yeah, I think you cut off for me. I'm not sure for everyone.
Is he saying that he thinks that the plates are mirrored across each other across the world?
Yeah, no way.
I think he's saying that if it was a layer of magma under the plates under us, that it should all be flowing in one direction. I'm not. See, that confused me too. But we know it's going in different directions by how the plates move themselves.
But he also just said that all the continents are mostly antipodal. Most of the continents are in the northern hemisphere.
Dog shit, Kojo.
That's fine. Most of the
Not really, dude. That shit is shrieking.
hold on, sir. Hold on, man.
Dude,
If
it's shrieking. No one wants to listen
How's it
to what you have to say. Shrieking. It hurts my ears.
How's it shrieking?
It sounds like you're in
feedback
a deep hallway. It's not. I'm not talking shit. I'm being serious. It sounds real bad. It's
It does
shrieking.
sound
There's
like
no shrieking.
It does sound like you're standing in a metal shed and it's just echoing wildly, but it's understandable.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm in the bathroom. Regardless, though,
Is that your
yeah,
mic, Dave?
Bad Kosho.
Yeah, dude. It's not pleasant to listen
Awful Kosho.
Yeah.
Can we stop complaining
It's
about
almost
it?
like listening to me.
to. No, Brian, I'm gonna complain because I have to listen to it, and it was bad.
I don't know why he does it. He does it all the time in the loo, in the bathroom.
Right, see, safe space chemo. You know what he's like.
That's why we're reminding him.
Kosho, if you're in danger and that's the only place you can talk, tell us so we understand.
Gone. He's gone now, anyway.
Oh, you're right, Chemo. You're not worried about Kosher?
Of course. I mean, you guys are still struggling. You're trying to explain your model.
That's all right. That's cool.
Reality.
That's cool.
But
that's how you really feel.
That keeps us going, knowing that you guys are still looking for a way to prove your belief. Yes, your religious.
Right. Yeah, that's right, Kimo. Yeah, I just listened on YouTube, and there's nothing.
What?
Nothing that other people in here don't sound like. You can understand what I'm saying, Kimo.
You understand what I'm saying like you're in the bathroom or something.
I'm not in the bathroom, Kimo. Not in the bathroom at all.
Yeah, but it's all tinny.
I just listened on YouTube, dude. It's fine.
You've got many people saying that you sound like not like sugar. Not sugar.
It's almost, that's fine, Kimo. That's fine.
Not sugar, but
it's almost,
no.
But when I had a problem and it sounded fine in here and it sounded shit on YouTube, I got muted. Yours is the other way around, Kosher. You sound shit in here, but okay on YouTube. You should be muted.
No, then that's a personal thing. That's y'all's is my volume on your side. Because on YouTube.
So everyone else in here saying you sound like
can't
shit
hear you
is a personal problem for me. Yeah.
Out there, they probably can hear you, but we can't really hear you.
Do the room of flavor and leave the bathroom while you're talking.
I'm not in the bathroom, Sean.
No,
do me a favor and shut up while I'm talking.
It's like a potato. Look at the chat.
How about I fucking mute you, Kosho? Because I asked you nicely to fucking not talk because it's a crappy mic right now.
I don't care how fucking nicely you asked me not to talk, jackass. Yeah, you don't have to interrupt me. You just allow me to finish speaking, dude.
You want me to do? You want me to be a fucking dick about it?
Allow me to finish speaking is what you do, dude. That's all you have to do. Allow me to finish speaking.
Sakes, Kosho, it's awful.
Your complaints are unfounded. I listened to it on YouTube. It's not
awful
there's none of that kind of stuff.
Here.
Chemo, then turn it down.
Oh my gosh. I didn't meet you.
If a whole fucking room says you sound fucking like shit, Kosho, I don't give a fuck what YouTube says. It sounds like fucking shit in here, and I don't want to listen to it. Now, if you want to be disrespectful, I'll be disrespectful to you, and I'll treat you like a bitch.
It is bad.
Guys, it's really not worth the argument that's being had. I'd like to hear the content of his speech.
Yeah.
What, about shitty mics?
No, about the antipodal plates.
Oh, that's Lemon's point. Where's Lemon?
We all have dreams.
Wow. Oh, this is awkward.
Take it home, Chemo.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Lemon to break down the plates, the curving plates.
It's all in the paper. I put it in the chat. It's all in there. The problem with plate tectonics. Perhaps we got to go with another theory, even with that.
Right. So, other than that, Davros, do you have anything else to prove you're on a ball?
Oh no, we're good.
Well, the thing is, Davros, that's not necessary to prove a ball. Plate tectonic theory is not necessary enough to offer any proof.
I'm not seeing anything like this in the chat. Where'd you put this?
Roll up. There.
Okay, now I see it.
Problem with plate tectonics.
Daniel Pratt. Okay, David Pratt. Okay, that's better.
He's a thinker.
Sorry, I misread that. I thought you were getting it from Daniel Pratt. I was about to say, are you sure you want to put that?
Who's that?
Let's see.
It's just refreshing to hear a new perspective on some of these things. A new perspective is how I got to the flat Earth.
Mm-hmm.
The continents.
And a double standard of evidence.
How could it say that the
Zero
continents
consistency.
How does it say that the continents are range antipodal, and then it goes on to list that the oceans are antipodal to the continents? That just seems weird. That wouldn't.
Antipodal, like a north-south orientation.
Antipodal is not. Antipodal is other side of the globe.
Which would be the north to the south side or a north-south orientation, wouldn't it?
What
Well, how
about
are you
east
going to?
west?
It's going to be north, south, and east, west. Lemon. And this right here is telling. And this right here is telling you that the oceans are antipodal to the continents, not that the continents are antipodal to the continents.
Which paragraph are you in?
A striking feature of the oceans and continents today is that they are all arranged antipodally. You were saying that the continents are arranged antipodally, and that's not true at all.
Read that again.
The oceans and continents are arranged antipodally. You said the continents were arranged in antipodes.
So oceans and continents means that the continents are arranged antipodally, right?
No, it means that ocean is
Anyway, read the paper. It's fascinating stuff.
You haven't even read it.
Okay. So as we proceed.
Okay. We don't want to hear what you have to say.
You there?
Who?
What's up, Bebo?
Shut up, Chemo.
I didn't hear who he said. Who's he talking to?
No, Chemo, it was Bebo. What's up? What's up, Bebo?
Hey, according to domesticated primate, you threw me under the bus.
Yeah. So
I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but
yeah. So what happened is they were asking me because I was on the voice chat, and they asked me how I would measure for curvature, and I explained to them the first step of if I was using an auto level and what an auto level is compared to a theodolite. And he asked me if I was using an auto level, if you would use like a story pole or a long ruler that tells you the elevation at a point in the distance. And
right.
he said if you don't use one, can you use it to measure curvature? And I told him no. With the single tool alone, you cannot measure for curvature. At best, you can say that the horizon is below eye level. Now, I don't any audio level I've used doesn't have the degrees of the vertical drop, doesn't tell you that. So what I explained to him is that an auto level is or a theodolite is basically an auto level on steroids. That was the gist of it.
Right.
He made it seem like because you didn't use a measuring pole to tell you the elevation at a distance, you did it all wrong. But I explained to him, if you're just saying that the horizon is dropping below eye level, you can use an auto level all day.
What I keep trying to get across to him is that even if I use the story pole, that still wouldn't change the observation.
Nope, not at all. Knowing
that
it
would
being
validate
below
it,
eye
wouldn't
level, it being below eye level is going to be below eye level. Period. Whether you
I wouldn't
have
even
an elevation or not.
I wouldn't even see the story pole because obviously it's below the water.
Yeah, what it sounds like, because when I first got there, the first thing they tried to pin me on is can you measure curvature with an auto level? And that's when I went into you can use it in the steps to finding out the calculations for curvature. And I think that's what he was trying to do. I think he's trying to pin you on you use an auto level to measure curvature, and you can't because you don't have a measuring elevation point in the distance.
Right.
But I knew instantly, if anything, all you're trying to explain to him is that no matter where you're at, the horizon drops below eye level.
Well, if you're targeting like a building off in the distance of a known height, you could measure curvature from that.
Exactly.
Building.
Yeah, but in a sense, then you do need a measuring pole. Then you would need one at that point.
Well, the building becomes your measuring pole.
Yes, you reference.
All I'm hearing
is
a failure to understand a straight fucking line.
But then you need on that building, you need to know 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot is. If you know the height of the building at the top, that's still a measuring pole. It's just not a stick one.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the graduations
exactly.
or the precision.
But in a sense of just using an auto level, looking at the horizon, you can't do a measurement but you can show that the horizon drops below eye level.
You could figure out what percentage of the FOV it is below the center,
but then
and get a degree measurement from that.
Then you need a theodolite, and then it's not just the auto level anymore.
I don't know. I mean, auto level has like a crosshair in the center, right?
Yeah, but it's not going to show you the degrees in that crosshair. You would then.
That's true, but you could figure it out.
But then why not just get a theodolite?
Yeah, that would be more precise, but you could get a pretty good estimate of the degrees. Like, let's say it's half the FOV.
But then, see, if you did that, you would have to have a reference point at your apparent horizon, though, and then that's still a measure. That's still a something that references the distance of degrees. And then at that point, you're doing a lot of extra work for no reason.
You just need to put a level on it.
Look, my baller brothers from the hood.
But I will say this:
all of this
it was very
geometry.
entertaining. Hang on, Chemo. The conversation. Talking to Bev, and it got to the point where we were talking about the vertical angle and horizon and the horizontal triangle. And I asked him what the what makes level. Why does a pendulum or a pendulum? Goddamn, a plumb bob. Thank you. A plumb bob drop straight down and not go sideways. And listening to him not want to give me a reason how it happens is insane. The only good part about it is I know he live streams it or records it, because the second I jumped in their voice chat, everyone jumped in. It was fun.
Do you have that? I want to hear him struggle with that one.
I don't have it. I probably go to his channel. I don't know. I don't even know if he saves them or not. I usually don't really care. But
I can't stand his voice for more than 10 seconds anyway.
Well, the good part is I got a good rapport with it. Like we don't get into those shouting matches and shit. So as long as it keeps like that, him just saying shit wrong just exposes him saying shit wrong.
Yeah, but he's so Dunning-Kruger, he doesn't know that it's wrong.
Oh, we're being gate kept here now. You guys are circle twerking, not allowing the opposition to challenge your nonsense. Okay, and
that sounds like when you muted me earlier.
Anyone listening may think that what you're saying is truth, reality, and we have to.
You don't have to protect us from that.
It's definitely. It's definitely true. And what really happened was B-Ball for Life came in and he asked me a question, and then me and some others got into the conversation about that topic. You kind of just jumped in to try to change the topic because you're not involved, and it can't really work that way. As long as it's a good dialect, the YouTube channel is fine.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what you're talking about can be challenged if the challenger is here. And we're trying to.
So, is there one?
We're trying to explain to you that there is no geometry. So any height.
So you're the challenger.
Actually, Bev is clearly says geometry is a real thing. So the opposition.
No. Geometry is a real thing, but you have broken geometry.
Oh, show me the correct geometry then.
Well, that's the thing, you see. If your observer height was 1 foot, your geometric horizon would be at 1.22 miles away.
Hang on.
Here we go with the black swan.
Perfect.
Again.
That's perfect. Hang on.
Wait,
that's perfect.
people.
Chemo. That's perfect. So with your with the measurements you've given, if we plot that on a map, the horizon would be at 1.2 miles. Correct.
It should be no more than that. Yes.
Okay, but then when we go into the real world and look at the apparent horizon at 1 foot, we're having to apply, refraction to it. So therefore, it's no longer applicable. You cannot apply it. To the geometric horizon, because the geometric horizon is only used on maps and models. It is not part of our everyday observation.
Okay. So the refraction has already been included because you're talking about the apparent horizon. That is the refracted horizon, okay?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So what we're looking for is the geometric one. We need to remove the apparent one.
Okay. Then pick up a map, and then we can talk about the geometric horizon.
A map? Well, no, we're talking about the real world.
Yeah. No. Because, okay, real world, we look at the apparent. If you want to talk about the geometric horizon, then pull up a map and we can look at for the geometric horizon there.
No, I'm saying so you're not getting the argument then, are you?
No. Chemo, here's that part where,
fine, fair enough.
Wrong. Well, guess what? You're wrong. And you saying it over and over again is not going to change it. The only way you can have this conversation is if you apply it correctly. The apparent horizon is what we observe. The geometric is what we apply to a map. Okay? So when you have this conversation with me, apply it correctly. Otherwise, I'm going to interrupt.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when an observer looks out at the horizon.
You will never observe the geometric horizon, whether it's on a globe or a flat Earth. Wherever you got that from, it's bullshit.
I didn't say that. I said
no. I'm telling you.
But I didn't say what you just said.
Okay, so don't say we
when
want
you look
to
at
see
the horizon.
Geometric horizon in an observation. Do not tell me.
I said when you look at the horizon, you said no. What do you mean no when you look at the horizon? Don't you see the horizon when you go outside?
Only ever do we see the apparent horizon. The geometric horizon is only applied to a map. So when you make an observation and you say, we want to see the geometric horizon, no model says that we can see the geometric horizon because refraction is involved. The only time geometric horizon is influenced is on a map, which is a model.
Okay. So I'm talking about if you measure 1 foot observer height, you measure that. You understand that part so far?
I think so.
Okay. If the Earth has a radius of 3959, regardless of the atmosphere or not, the physical Earth, the drop, the observable drop, the physical drop for any object for the observer at 1.22 miles will be of a physical nature, regardless of the atmosphere. So in the real world,
due to the body of water, correct?
Yeah, so in the real world, the ships will disappear bottom first for an observer at 1 foot physically. At 1.22 miles. Okay?
Within that range of a mile to a mile 0.4, we'll say, due to refraction. Because what you're saying is the geometric horizon, which is not used in everyday observation, is used on models and maps, which are on models. And if you're using our apparent horizon, then they do disappear bottom up.
I'm talking about where the ship disappears bottom first.
Is that the apparent horizon and forever be for your observation?
Is that always at the apparent horizon, yes?
Forever.
Exactly. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah, that's funny when you say that. It means shit all to me because I know damn well that's just crap. But yes, if you understand that, then you understand that it's curvature.
Well, if the boat is disappearing over apparent horizon, which is not a physical thing, well, then how...
The horizon is not a physical thing, but what obstructs is. What obstructs is the body of water.
Okay, so at 1.22 miles, a body of water is obstructing the boat for the observer at 1 foot.
About 1 mile to 1.4 miles due to refractive effects.
At 2 miles, 3 miles, that boat is even more obstructed.
Absolutely.
Let's say the boat was 6 feet high. Yeah? 6 foot high boat. 6 foot observer. No, 1 foot observer, sorry. 6 foot boat. The boat disappears bottom first, so we've now got, let's say, 1 foot of the boat missing. Physically.
Okay.
So you're saying now the horizon. Explain.
The body of water is obstructing it.
Yes, and now how does that horizon get behind the boat?
Atmospheric refraction and miraging.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. So now,
atmospheric effects and, or I guess that would be the same thing, miraging.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking you. What is the person looking at? If they see it at 1.22 miles, the boat disappeared bottom first.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I have an example. The Black Swan is a perfect example. With the two platforms, you guys are talking about the horizon you think you see in the background. Well, unfortunately for you, the horizon is actually before that first platform. How do I know that? Because there's 20 feet missing from the first platform that you guys are never willing to talk about.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a boat.
Yeah, I know you're not talking about it.
Of course you're not talking about it.
See,
well, we can get to that. We can get to that, but I'm trying to make my point first.
Let's do this again, Chemo. Chemo? No, I'm going to do this again. In the Black Swan, there are two platforms. You guys are trying to explain why the horizon is behind the second platform. The problem is the actual horizon is in front of the first platform. How do I know that? Because there's 20 feet missing. How do I know that? Because one, I've been there. Two, actually, I've been there multiple times. Two, I've actually gotten the measurements and the blueprints of the fucking platforms to see what is underwater, what's above the water, what we're even seeing when we're looking at the picture. The horizon is in front of the first platform.
Okay, I'm not arguing that. That's not my argument.
Timo.
That's not my point. I'm asking you. You see the picture, right?
Damn. Here's a rag. Go wipe yourself.
You see the picture there, right, Sean?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'm asking, let's say the 1 foot observer is looking at the one on the left, right?
Yep, the horizon's still in front of that first platform.
No, I'm saying just where we see the horizon, we can see the 1 foot observer is looking at that horizon. Yeah?
Okay, Chemo. Sure.
So a boat goes over that horizon. Yeah?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So now you're saying that's going down below the horizon.
It is being obstructed by a body of water more and more as it goes further away, yes.
Yeah, so is it going lower behind that horizon on the left?
Elevation-wise, no. But optic to your eye level 0, yes.
Is it going below your feet?
I'll say it again. Elevation-wise, no. Optically, with eye level, yes.
No, physically, I'm saying in the real world, is that boat going below your feet?
Okay. When you say below my feet, that means is the boat going below 0 feet? And the answer is no, but it is dropping from my eye level.
Below your eye level?
That is what I just said.
Okay, good. So, if it's going below your eye level here, on the left, how do you explain a boat going away at 10 miles and then it's not below your eye level on the one on the left?
Miraging, because the horizon is before that first platform.
What's the mirage?
Everything above the apparent horizon.
On which side, left or right picture?
Either side.
Both sides are mirage.
If you see a horizon above the apparent horizon, that is miraging.
So I'm asking you, are both sides a mirage?
Chemo, I've literally looked at those pictures so many times, I refuse to play games. The horizon is before that first platform. Anything above that that appears to be a horizon is a mirage.
I'm asking what is the mirage? I'm asking which part of it is the mirage, left or right?
There's more miraging happening in the right side than the left.
What is miraging?
Everything above the apparent horizon in the distance that you believe is another horizon. It's not.
Everything above the apparent... So where is the apparent horizon on the right?
In front of the first platform.
Can you draw a line so I can see it?
No, I'm on my phone and I'm too lazy. It's pretty clear. In front of the first platform. Where you see the legs end, at the first platform is the apparent horizon.
So what's behind it then?
Miraging.
That's a mirage.
There's a lot of miraging happening in that photo. Yes.
So you're saying then now a boat would disappear at the legs of that horizon then?
Yes, a boat going in that direction, away from the observer, going towards that platform, will start to disappear before it passes that first platform.
No. On the right, at the legs, is now you're saying is where the boat would disappear bottom first.
Nope, before it. Like I said, the apparent horizon is before the first platform. So before the first platform, the boat will start disappearing before the first platform.
So when it gets to that mirage, what will happen?
It will probably be a mirage too, and you'll probably see it in a miraging fashion, all distorted, and nothing will have a right angle, a straight line. It'll be all wavy. That's what you'll see.
The boat will start doing what at the mirage?
He's lost.
Yeah. Okay. If you see a boat disappear, going into the different direction, into the distance, into the horizon, and you start seeing it disappear before the first platform, at some point that boat will start to almost completely disappear, and then for some miraculous magical reason you may happen to see a silhouette of a boat becoming more.
But it's already gone down the curvature.
Hang on, I'm not done. The problem with that
you messed up there.
The problem with that observation is, Kimo, is that when you look at that boat is not going to have any detail. It's going to be distorted and wavy because it itself is also a mirage, and you are not seeing the actual physical object. You are seeing an image, an illusion, a mirage of that object.
Okay, so Sean, you said the horizon's in front of both legs of the platform, yeah?
In front of the first platform.
In front of the platform, the first platform. So if the boat starts to go...
In front of the first platform.
So if the boat starts to disappear in front of the platform, how will it reach that mirage behind it?
By going further out.
No, but it's going down the curvature.
Yeah, I know that, and you'll see it being obstructed.
But it'll come back up.
When then this magical moment may happen. It's super magical. I mean, this is some David Copperfield shit.
So you're saying the one on the right, it will go down at the legs and then come back up at the mirage.
Kimo, I'm not saying that in the left picture or the right picture this will happen, because shit changes. But the reality of it is, the only thing that's even relevant to this conversation is that the apparent horizon is in front of the first platform.
I'm not arguing that. I'm saying, okay, if the boat goes down at that horizon, how will it come back up to that mirage behind it?
By being in the mirage.
By being in the mirage. Well, how far away is that mirage from the horizon?
Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm sorry. Here's the problem. Kimo, do you know what miraging is?
No, what is a mirage?
Okay, Kimo, do you know what atmospheric effects are?
No, what are atmospheric effects?
Perfect. Go look those things up so that you can have an adult conversation with me and this can move along.
Okay, but I'm talking about the horizon. You said it's at the legs of that platform.
No, there's a bigger problem, Kimo. There's a much bigger problem. You don't understand the basic terminology of this conversation, so it's going to put speed bumps in it. And see, I like driving fast vehicles, and I don't like speed bumps, so I need you to go Google these terms so that when you come and have a conversation with an adult like myself, we can have this be moving along and progressing, not being stopped to define something as ridiculous as what's an atmospheric effect, what's miraging.
Yeah, but how will that help the conversation?
Because then I won't have to stop and explain it to you like you just asked me to.
But I'm not asking about mirage, I'm asking about the geometric horizon or the apparent horizon.
Okay, no. You're asking me about a boat going into a mirage, becoming a mirage.
You brought up
So
mirage, remember? So
I
what do you
asked
mean by
so I asked
mirage?
you, Chemo. So I asked you, Chemo, do you know what a mirage is? And you said no.
I don't know what you
said,
mean
"Chemo."
by mirage in this image.
Yeah. And then I said, Chemo, do you know what atmospheric conditions are?
Not in this
and
image,
you said
no.
You said no. Explain it to me. Well, the problem is that you need to figure out what those are before we have a conversation.
What does it say? Black swan, then atmospheric conditions.
No. Just those two terms: atmospheric conditions and mirage. Once
Will it say black swan, then mirage?
I promise you, this conversation will move along more smoothly.
Will it say mirage and black swan?
Why would it say black swan?
Because we're talking about the black swan.
Oh, you're talking the dead duck. You're still beating the dead horse.
You're talking about an observation that you've named black swan. So why would black swan be in the definition of a mirage or atmosphere?
Because you brought up mirage. I don't know why you brought. I mean, mirages are in the desert. I thought a thing that's not really there. Like someone might think they're seeing water or a palm tree, and it's not really there.
So wait. Are you saying that there are no miraging happening in the ocean? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Then how about this? How about you mute yourself, sit back, and just listen?
I'm listening.
Then if you don't know what I'm saying, there's a problem, because I have definitely done this conversation down to an 8th grade level. And if that's too advanced for you, then I really need you to tell me what you don't understand.
What you mean by mirage in this image.
And then go Google what the answers are, then come back and we'll see how well you understand what you're actually talking about.
Yeah, but will it say black swan, mirage, black swan, atmospheric?
Yes. Yeah. Chemo. Yes, it will. It'll say black swan. It's at the very bottom. It's like in the middle. So you have to read it. Don't just scan for it. Read it. But yeah, black swan's in atmospheric condition definition and miraging. It says black swan, and it even says flat earth and chemo in it. So go check it out.
I've just done that. And it says black swan says you have no geometry. It doesn't say anything about mirages.
What the hell are you talking about, you moron?
Okay, can you share that link with me, Chemo?
What, the black swan link?
Yeah, the one you just read from.
Yeah, sure.
You remember the lie you just said 10 seconds ago, Chemo?
There's no need to lie. We've got the evidence.
Oh, you liars all the time,
lie,
Chemo.
so why do you do it?
When it says black swan, I get this.
Why would they lie?
Chemo, I'm going to go ahead and do a mic drop right now and let everyone else have a go at you. Have a good night.
Another one bites the dust. Another one.
Yeah, Chemo, you're a fucking liar and you know it.
And another one.
I have an important question for Chemo. Why do you believe this picture is real, but not the 24-hour sun in Antarctica?
It's from a video, dude. There's the video from it.
Yeah, so answer my question. Why do you believe the video, but not the video from Antarctica?
Antarctica, that's a 2-minute time lapse edited.
Yeah, see, because one he thinks one proves his argument, and the other one totally disproves his argument.
Check out the video, dude.
So you can only have the one. So you can only have the one that he think proves his argument.
I mean, Chemo, can't videos be faked?
Thought he could challenge Black Swan.
How did you verify this video that you're using? It could be faked.
Are you still beating the cooked goose?
I didn't verify this video.
The dead duck? You didn't verify the black swan either.
I verified that water cannot conform around the exterior of an object without
Yes, it can. It's called gravity.
How did you verify that?
I just poured water on a ball.
Inside the gravity well of
that
Earth,
what you would? Yeah, but that confirms that Earth has gravity when you do that experiment. That's not inconsistent with Earth being a sphere of gravity.
Well,
that's consistent with it.
You said water can stick to a ball.
I have pictures of water sticking to a ball. You want to see it?
Water sticks to balls all the time. It's called surface tension.
Water can stick to an entire planet, yes. Not a basketball.
Because of surface tension.
Yeah, a little bit of water sticks to a basketball. You know, a basketball on the space station, it sticks to it really quite well.
Space station?
Actually,
gosh,
guys,
check out the
the
presuppositions here tonight.
You know, the ISS, the one that's going around the Earth every 90 minutes that you guys have to deny because it shoots a big ass hole in your argument? That one.
Yes, that one. That's the best one. Chemo, I have a really good philosophical question for you. Why do you think surface tension forces exist but not gravity?
Gravity is a made-up force to explain the water and
Incorrect.
objects sticking to the globe, right?
Incorrect. Gravity's measurable.
Let's test that logic. Here, I'm gonna use his logic in the same way he just did. Surface tension forces are made up fictional forces that don't exist.
Okay. Do you have an experiment to back up your hypothesis?
Well, I mean, I don't have to. I'm just challenging your claim that they exist and they're responsible for water sticking to, the surface of something. Like, why do you believe one and not the other? That's inconsistent.
Because I said a force. The force is surface tension.
Prove that exists.
It's not my claim.
So you don't think there's any proof that surface tension exists?
I didn't
just
claim
like you
that.
think there's
You
no
did.
proof gravity exists? So, okay, well, then just answer yes or no. Do you think surface tension exists?
It's not about me.
Do you think gravity exists?
Gravity and what is
Oh, he'll
gravity?
answer gravity, but he won't answer
What is
surface
gravity?
tension.
Yeah.
Fucktard.
What is gravity?
It's not about you. Why are you answering?
What is gravity?
It's not about you, Chemo, but you certainly inject yourself in every conversation.
Yeah, because we're raising awareness about the globe lie. You've not heard about the
Not
globe
about
lie.
you.
What
Okay,
about
you're
me
doing
now?
this
It's
by
about the globe
avoiding
lie.
any
you
possible
have no
conversation
proof.
about it.
You have no proof, Chemo. None.
Proof of what?
Anything that you say.
Well, we know that water cannot
Yeah.
conform to the exterior of an object without a
Actually,
force.
water does conform to an order to exterior without a force. That force is called gravity.
Chemo, you did invoke surface tension just a little bit ago. You said that it sticks to the ball because of surface tension. So why do you think surface
I
tension
never
exists but
mentioned
not
that.
gravity?
You mentioned that.
No. When someone brought up the example of it sticking
Well,
to a
someone
basketball,
brought
you
it
said
up, it
surface
wasn't
tension
me.
immediately. I
That's
heard you
your
in the background
claim.
say
You're
it. Don't
claiming
lie.
that surface tension keeps water sticking to a board. Demonstrate it.
That's what you said.
That's not what I said. Try to listen.
Yeah, you did. Everyone heard it. Everyone heard it, didn't you?
I heard it.
Yeah,
Well,
he's a
you heard
liar.
wrong.
Chemo, should be a
Liar.
ball that covered with water, no surface tension. Prove me wrong.
Ball covered with water, surface tension. Prove me wrong. What do you mean?
I mean, there is a ball
Verify your stupid experiment, Chemo.
covered with water, like you want to. That's it. You think there's surface tension there?
I don't know what the I don't know what the cause to this effect
No,
is.
the ball is wet.
Yeah, I
The
don't
water
know what the cause is. I
the
haven't formed a
exterior of the
hypothesis.
object.
How we
The
do
water
science, we
conforming to-
conduct a hypothesis with the observed phenomenon.
Chemo, the water conforming to the exterior of the object, like you wanted to.
I would have to do experiments and tests.
Well,
we got him on record.
Well,
Okay,
well.
he is not convinced that surface tension exists. We got him on record saying that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, we don't know anything. Okay, everyone just takes their best
bullshit,
guess.
Chemo.
Without an
You
experiment,
don't know anything,
you don't know
Chemo.
anything.
You don't know anything, Chemo.
Remember that.
You don't know anything, Chemo.
Yeah, none of you know
So,
anything.
Chemo, given
you
that
know a lot of
philosophy,
poetry, but you don't have any experiments to back
We
up
know.
your
We
claim.
know. Yes, we do, Chemo. We have experiment to prove
Well, where
gravity.
are they? Let's have a look. Pull them
It's
out.
called Cavendish. Big Blue did it.
Yeah, we know the cause of that.
And
Yeah,
what?
before we
Gravity,
go-
yes.
no,
Mass
no.
attracting mass. We know that.
Yeah, well, put it
Before
in a
we go
vacuum.
into
Why
that,
doesn't
I
it work
have-
in a vacuum then?
Chemo,
It does work in a vacuum, Chemo.
Let's take a look at it in a vacuum then.
You've shown you this at least 3 times. You always go back to this bullshit, and you know you're wrong.
Well, let's
and you
have a
keep
look
on
then.
saying the same
Prove
old
your
tripe.
claim.
I
Back up your
proved it to
claim.
you at least 3 times, Chemo. Shut the fuck up.
Back up
You are the
your
stupidest
argument.
person around here. You always go back to the same old thing. We'll show it in a vacuum. I show it to you in a vacuum. You say, well, show it in a vacuum. Fuck
Well, where
you.
is it then? Give us a look.
I've given it to you.
What was the timestamp?
Fuck you.
What was the timestamp?
Oh, fuck you.
Chemo, real science doesn't have timestamps.
Yeah, but
Don't
mass,
you
what was
get
the
tired?
timestamp of the mass attracting mass? The movement of the 2 objects. What was the timestamp?
Screw all that. Don't you get tired of this, brother?
So you don't have a
I'm
timestamp
tired
of
of
objects moving in a vacuum.
Yes,
of course
we
you
do,
don't,
Chemo.
because
I've given you
it
the
doesn't work.
I've given you the fucking experiment, Chemo. If you don't
Chemo.
believe it, verify it yourself, you
You've given a
stupid
piece
person.
of paper.
That's what an experiment is, you moron.
Use that to wipe
is
the
how
sweat
you,
off
That's
your
how you
brow, 'cause
document
you're,
what you do in science. You write papers.
nervous now.
You have to be able to read, Chemo, in order to do that.
Look.
Not just watch YouTube videos of some fucktard, but actually have a paper published in a journal.
If you want to read something,
Chemo,
read the
talking to
Bible.
Mike.
Otherwise, perform an experiment to back up your claim.
It is
Chemo,
it's called Cavendish.
Where's the timestamp
Chemo.
of the mass attracting mass?
Chemo, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You remember that Trig genius that was here a couple of days ago?
No, I don't remember anything. Only today is the present day, right here and now. So what do you have?
Listen, Kimo, listen. It was a trick genius who could tell us the sign of 30 degrees from the top of his head without calculator or anything. And he schooled us all about El Bruni test, and it's supposed to be on your channel, and I can't find it. Why?
Probably haven't uploaded it yet.
What?
Probably haven't uploaded it yet.
Loaded it.
I probably have not uploaded it yet.
It's not uploading while it's recorded?
No. Give it some days and you might catch it.
4 days ago or something?
Yeah,
you will
it's not ready
see
yet.
said video.
Not ready
you
yet.
You will not see it.
What's to
if
be
you don't
ready?
Post it immediately, you'll never see it.
Yeah, you probably won't remember which one is which.
Edited, Kimo.
It's not like the next day they go up.
Why it should be edited, Kimo?
Not edited, they just don't go up the next day or the day after.
What do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
You need to publish it, and it's published.
He has a memory like.
You're talking about Andrew?
Yes.
Yes, that has not uploaded yet.
Why? What's the reason?
Because there's others before it.
I don't think so. There are other after it, and still no, Andrew.
Not uploaded yet. I know which one you mean. It's coming soon.
What video are we talking about?
He's just talking about Andrew here taking on the globe earthers and whatnot.
You have no proof for that, Kimo. You have zero proof of the flat earth. All you are is a globe denialist. Nuh-uh is your favorite words. Nuh-uh is all you can say.
So, Gambino, I know you talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk because your whole entire paradigm has been made up by a bunch of guys spouting
Kimo,
numbers
so
that can't be demonstrated with an experiment. And that's the problem with you guys.
Kimo, are you really this stupid? Really?
We used to say parrot a lot. We don't say it as often, but you have just parroted what you were told with no experiments. So what do you expect?
Fuck you, Kimo. No, there's lots of experiments. Big Blue just did one.
Somebody's going to be a parrot in this room. I would say the person who only has 3 things they can go back to. Number 1 and number 2 being the black swan. That would be the parrot.
That's the argument that shuts down the globe. What else are we going to use?
Incorrect. It's been debunked many different times, you stupid, stupid person.
Why on earth would we use something else when we know that the globers need geometry, and if we can destroy...
We have geometry, Kimo, except when you're a foot off the water in a very day with lots of
And as you saw with Sean here, I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. What on earth is Sean thinking?
Kimo,
taking me on.
Here's my question for you, brother.
Go on.
Doesn't it kind of concern you that you have one argument?
No, there are an abundance of arguments. There's an array of arguments. There's not one argument.
That's the only one I ever hear you bring up.
Every day I sit in this
room and I listen.
What's that noise?
It's just background noise?
What's that noise?
Don't know.
The Kool-Aid?
Who's got music?
Someone's got noise.
Thank you.
Ah, it's gone now. Go on, what's your question? I forgot where we were now.
So my question is, do you find it all concerning that you only have one argument you can bring up? We sit in this room every day and we have different people who come in with different arguments, from people who talk about satellites. I talk about boats. There are surveyors. There are tons and tons of different arguments, and every glober seems to have a different kind of take on their argument.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You only have one. Do you find that at all concerning?
Not at all. I mean, when we first got into this, the number one question on the lips of the flat earthers was, where's the curvature? Where's the curvature? So, of course, yeah, there has been other arguments with what the rotation and space and geometry, like in terms of horizontal planes, that kind of stuff. But what we've done is how can I say, condense the argument in such a way where globe earthers can't get out of it. Because for years,
bullshit, chemo.
nearly finished.
Bullshit.
Nearly finished.
You're finished.
Just for years,
Chemo.
this is why we do this Kool-Aid. Because for many years, we were always, I don't know, like the ballers would get out of it. So we would bring something up, and then you would get out of it somehow, some way. So with this argument, there's no get out of it.
Yes, there is, chemo, because you don't understand what you're looking at. You're looking at the geometric horizon refracted into the actual horizon. You're on a very diffraction day with 1 foot off the water with a big temperature difference between the water and the air. That's all you've got.
So I hear what you're saying. You're hearing that a lot lately. The black swan, black
it's what's
swan.
happening.
And that's in the last
I can
2.5
the geometric
years.
horizon every damn day when the sun goes down from the top, bottom to the top.
I hear
Every
you,
damn day.
I hear what you're saying.
Every goddamn day.
But I'm just trying to address that Kool-Aid. I get it.
We had a guy come in.
It's like, why would you just use the same argument over and over again? Well, before the Black Swan, we did have many different ways of tackling the globe. And like I say, a lot of those arguments, like you saw today with Lemon, Kool-Aid, pay attention to what I'm saying. You saw with Lemon today where you asked him about how the light sun works, whatever, and then immediately you just shut him down. Right? You're like, no, it doesn't work, can't work, blah, blah, blah.
There's nothing but talk word salad, chemo.
So
that's all Lemon does. He does nothing. How come you never asked Lemon for facts?
That was the kind of thing that was happening a lot, Kool-Aid, all the time.
Ask Lemon for experiment, chemo?
And I mean constantly.
Why you always ask chemo?
Yes.
Why don't you ask Lemon for an experiment? Why do you never ask Lemon for an experiment or something? You always let him get away with his stupid word salad that he says nothing. He understands nothing about optics. He understands nothing about gravity. He understands nothing, basically. He just has this fundamentalist interpretation of his Bible that he thinks, and then he just word salads the rest of it. It's all bullshit, chemo. You never stand up to him. You never stand up to him.
You ask us for experiments all the time, but never never Lemon, or for that matter, any other flat earther. They never get the "where's your experiment" question, whereas we get that all the time.
Never Don Geo, and especially never you.
Well, you will find that a lot of the flat earthers have fell out because of what you're saying. They've asked other flat earthers for their experiments, and they've said, what?
There have been no flat Earth experiments at all, ever.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
everyone
you're not going to let me speak, Pete, so there's no point talking to you.
Because you're not answering the question. Why do you never come up with a damn experiment to back up your bullshit, sir?
Well, we do come up with experiments. If there's
a
claim,
you don't.
If we make a claim, we'll back it up with an experiment.
You make lots of claims. You make claims that the Earth is flat. Prove it.
Well, that's what we observe.
No, we don't observe that. You're an idiot.
We don't observe
you don't prove it. Prove it, chemo.
Right, you're not letting me talk.
Observing it is only the first part of it. Then you have to prove it.
Here, just ask him. Chemo, do you have an experiment that opposes globe Earth claims?
Yes, so the claim of a force, gravity pulling things down with a downward bias, we've been able to show that objects do not have a downward bias, and we can obviously manipulate the density and the medium, have objects go in all directions.
Well, that's the point, though, is that hold on. Density exists within the globe model, within the physics that we adhere to in the globe model. So you're not proposing anything new. What you're doing is saying it's not this other thing, it's this thing. But we don't ignore density. We don't ignore relative density. That's part of our model. Do you have something that the globe model doesn't offer?
Yeah, an explanation as to why things fall or rise. Yeah.
We have that explanation.
You
don't like it, but we have it.
Include magic. Okay.
No, we don't include magic, chemo. You're the one waving your hands.
Can't manipulate magic.
Relative density. Yes, we can.
No, you can't manipulate magic.
We manipulate gravity all the time.
Hold on, stop telling him. Fucking have the conversation about the topic. So, Chemo, when you talk about the relative density, what I would say is that we can manipulate relative density using a force and we can align it in any direction we want depending on the force that we introduce. So for example, when you put your density tower on a lazy Susan and spin it, you're introducing a centrifugal force. Now that density tower is aligned horizontally. Because the density tower is aligned vertically, we know that there is a force in the vertical direction because of this. When you remove that downward force, then that's when we see no alignment. So this relative density argument requires a force.
No, well, that's the what we're trying to experiment with to see if there is a force.
Right, I just explained it. I just explained it to you that relative density towers, things with different density values, have properties and interact with each other because a force is acting upon them. As I just explained,
that's called a firm of the consequences fallacy.
No, it's not.
No, because I just explained how you can align a density tower in a different direction using a force.
But you've got to demonstrate the force first, Bio.
When you remove the force, it doesn't align in any way. When you introduce a force, it is aligned in the direction that the force is being applied. It's simple as that. You require a force for relative density to exhibit the properties that we agree upon.
No, again, you just go around in a circle. I'm not doing silly
What
talk.
is density, Chemo?
Again, you're affirming the consequences. We're trying to prove that gravity is a force first.
No, Chemo, if you
hold on, let's get Jeremy. Jeremy, welcome back, Jeremy.
No, stop, Chemo, stop. If you can't address what I've said, just say I can't address what you said, and then we can move on.
I've just said that. I'm not addressing your affirming the consequences fallacy. We're trying to prove the force. You're already saying there is a force without an experiment. That's not how you do science, okay?
No. I'm not saying that at this moment. I'm not saying that gravity exists. I'm not saying that mass attracts mass. I'm not talking about space-time. What I'm talking about is relative density and how and why it's formed. All I said is a force. When you put it on a lazy Susan and spin it, we know a force is being introduced to it and it aligns horizontally. When it's aligned vertically, we can make that assumption that it's a force.
There you go, affirming the consequences.
Hold on, Chemo. Hold the fuck on. When you remove what you think is a force, that's when it doesn't align. All indicators point to a force is acting upon it vertically. Now we can experiment with it because we know it's required.
Yeah, I've just told you, I'm not going around in a circle when we need to prove the force first.
Thank you. Don't address what I said. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
No, I'm not getting into that.
What is density?
We know what we. The question was, the original question was, what can we show on something to this effect? Anyway, that is on the globe. What can we prove that how it's wrong? Basically,
ask a simple question, please.
And we can show that relative density disequilibrium debunks the force of gravity. Bio. That's the whole point of relative density. Unless, obviously, you provide.
I don't know why you're addressing me when you obfuscated and hand waved what I said.
Because I was addressing your point.
Why you're addressing me.
I was answering your question.
Don't address me if you're not going to respond to the words that I said.
Well, you asked me a question.
Don't address me. Address Chill. Address him, not me.
I didn't mean you, by the way, Page Chill. But you asked a question about what do we have on the flat Earth side in terms of an experiment. We were talking about experiments. And I said to you, we can debunk the force, why things fall, the cause of things. You say there's a pulling force. We can debunk that and show that you cannot control the pulling force. We can control the direction of the object by manipulating the density.
Right. That's fine.
You still haven't told me what density is.
It doesn't fucking matter. We're not in grade school.
It does actually.
Well, I'm only answering what you asked.
I know, and I'm going to respond. You said words, and I'm going to respond because I'm an adult. I heard the words you said. I've digested them. Now I'm going to respond. I agree with you. When you change the density of the medium, if you introduce a different density valued object, yes, there are particular interactions. Everything that you've described is part of the gravity model, part of the globe model. This is not new.
Again, you're doing it again.
No, these are part of the model. What you're doing is excluding things, but including things that we already know. You have a basic understanding, The globe model has a complicated understanding, but it's an understanding nonetheless.
Okay, you can shout, you can scream, but again, what you're telling me is we already know there is a force. No, you do not. Before you can invoke, while relative density has the force of gravity in it, you need to prove there is a force.
That's not what I said, Kimo.
You need to prove there is a force in the first place. Now, we're told objects fall because of a force pulling them down towards the center of the mass or the earth, or whatever it is. We can show that to be false. That's not true. We can experiment, manipulate our independent variable, and show the object going in a different direction because we caused that effect. Now, you cannot show... last point. You cannot show direction change with just pulling.
Yes,
not
you
pushing.
Can. Here's the most obvious issue. You should be able to acknowledge that the density in all directions around an object is less dense. So if your only claim is relative density, there is no reason that it should happen in only one direction. If your cause is just the density around the object is less, there is no reason why it wouldn't go up, because the space above that object is also less dense than the object. The reason why it goes in a particular direction must be something other than just relative density.
Again, your must, should be, could be is irrelevant. Unless you have an experiment.
Right, so hand waves. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Again, I'm done. Don't address me.
Exactly. Okay, so we're not interested in poetry. Oh, it must be, it has to be, it's gotta be. You know, I got this feeling, this super sense that it must be. No, that's poetry. Unless you have an experiment, which you're doing, right now, hopefully, and then you can show this pulling force, you'll have a leg to stand on. But as it stands, right now, we can demonstrate there is no pulling force. We can manipulate direction. Gas moves in all directions. There isn't a downward bias because there's no pulling force. So, Jeremy, welcome back. How have you been? Where have you been? What have you heard? Do you have? Is he still here? Yes, he's still here. Do you have any? What's going on, Jeremy? Welcome back.
Yeah, let me get off of this topic because I'm only
What's
saying
up?
bullshit.
Nah, nothing's new. Same old bullshit. NASA shells, all these Globers talking that shit.
Yeah, because
they talk
you guys...
the talk, but they can't walk the walk.
Yeah, in the meantime, you guys say you can't prove gravity. In the meantime, you've got the Cavendish experiment that does exactly that and can't be manipulated. The direction can be changed by moving the weights. Fuck. What more do you guys want? The only thing you guys will accept, and you won't even tell me what density is, Chemo.
Density, that's just the molecules tightly compact.
What is the definition
of density, tightly
Chemo?
Compact. But yeah, but we've got Jeremy here now, and he's going to obviously.
So, you ignore my question and let Jeremy talk.
He answered your question. What do you mean? He said it's the amount of matter.
No, he did not answer my question.
Matter, molecules, whatever, particles, tightly compact. It makes whatever object more dense. And that's how you have your density.
What are the units of density, sir?
Well, again, if you want the numbers, models, you know, we've got
what are the units of density, sir? Yeah? Come on, I'm going to get in trouble with Jem because you...
No, as I said, I'm a scientist. I deal with the practical elements. If you want to work these things out, like I said, you have lemon if you want to go for the digits.
No,
you're a scientist?
You're sitting here invoking relative density and you won't even tell me what density is.
I've just
He told you what it is.
Go ahead,
no,
Jeremy.
he didn't. He did not tell me what density is.
It's the amount of molecules per unit volume.
Oh, bullshit.
That's not what density is, actually.
Yeah, it's more you got more molecules in the volume.
You can have more molecules of something like hydrogen in the space, and it'll be less dense than one molecule of uranium in the same space.
Tightly packed molecules, bro.
Nope,
the tighter the molecules, the heavier the density.
Nothing to do. Heavier. Heavy is
the more density. The more density.
Incorrect. You can have You can have you can very tightly packed something light and very loosely packed something heavy, and the very loose something heavy will be more dense.
Yeah.
So you know what density is?
That's a pretty good point.
Relative density, you don't even know what density is.
Matter per unit volume.
No, incorrect.
No, the M is not for matter, Jeremy.
Different types of matter that are more dense.
It does
More
not
dense. You're just talking circles now.
Right, but that's a good point in which to differentiate between weight and mass, the mass of an object doesn't give a shit about forces. So whether something is being thrown, resting, or falling in free fall, it has the same mass consistently. But if you try to weigh it under these different conditions, there will be different weights. That's a great way to distinguish between the two concepts. They're not one and the same.
Do you want me to tell you what density is, or are you guys going to sit here and deny it?
Chemo told you in the first place. Tighter packed molecules, more molecules.
No.
You got more stuff in a smaller volume.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not what the M is. M is not the amount of stuff.
What M? What M?
What is density?
We told you.
You did
Just
not.
correct them, NASA, for fuck's sake.
No, I'm not going to, because then they have to tell me what density is. I wish I'd tell them.
We just did.
Learn. You did not.
Because the layman's approach to it, more stuff in an area and less stuff in an area. I mean, that's not scientific. I mean, look what you're dealing with.
Matter. What do you want? Technical terms? Matter.
No, it's not.
What do you guys
matter.
say? Mass. You guys
No,
say
it's
mass is
not
the amount
matter.
of matter.
Mass.
You guys say that mass is the amount of matter in an object.
No.
That is what
Okay,
you
does
said.
someone want to put him out of his misery? Are we just going to do this all night?
I'm with Jim.
We're gonna do it all
I'm with
night.
you, Jim.
We're gonna do this all night. Man.
All night. All night.
Fuck me.
Hell, we do it every day anyway.
I mean, it's been going on for 5 years. Why would today change?
Listen, we're dealing with the new school. The old way was to think.
So what's the new? If the old way was to think, what's the new way?
Just
Only
assert some
only
bullshit.
chemo the mindless can teach us.
Just assert some bullshit without any facts and just ignore everything else. That's the Jeremy school.
Yeah. But that's you gotta stop biting, man. You're on the end of every word. No. You know, and then
all they need to
it's
do
like
is define density for me. That's it.
as soon as you do that, we're in for it because they see the reaction. They're gonna keep doing it. They know how to push your buttons. You're gonna keep biting. Stop biting.
You do have buttons to push, yes.
Let them get their shit out in one long sentence of confidence.
The problem is it's someone like Lemon.
You just did it.
They speak for 5 minutes at a time and don't say shit.
Yeah, but you know what? Cutting them off mid-sentence, it takes them 7 minutes to get through the same thing they're going to say. And you'll be muted along the way, you know? Learn from it, man. I mean, fuck. Because once they've got it out, they hang themselves with their own logic. But you don't let them get to it and they can recover or realize they're about to say something stupid. Or someone else can jump in and save them. Don't do that.
We use sound logic. You guys are the ones with all the fallacies, let's not forget.
Why'd you run away, Jimmy?
What's the speed of your
I'm
logic?
sick of you guys.
We
I don't even know why I came back. Just to
We
fucking
saw your
chemo.
sound logic yesterday.
I
Jeremy.
only came back because of chemo. And Kosho sent me an invite, but I wasn't even thinking about coming back.
Chemo got other people hot.
You're very welcome. Well, where have you been all day then, Jeremy? Where'd you go if you weren't thinking about coming here?
I was doing my crypto thing. I was doing stuff.
What, all day? All the time that you spent in here, you went and did crypto for?
Yeah. Yep.
God, you must be rich.
No, not even close.
What are you getting into now? What are you getting into?